Hello folks, welcome back. It's a nice day today for a change. It's still a little bit nippy, but at least it's dry, it's not raining, I'll be able to crack on. First of all, get the kettle on. Well, just while that kettle boils there, I'll show you around, show you what I'm going to be attempting today. Yeah, it's not a bad day today, the sun's out-ish. It'll probably rain at some stage though, it always does, it rains every day. Well, I'll tell you about that in a minute while I have my cuppa. But today I'm just going to carry on digging, see how far I can get. I started this bit the other day and I also managed to get that little bit dug over there. So the ground's not too bad. I don't know what I'm going to do with this pile, but we'll figure that out when I come to it. I'm also going to sow some seeds today because none of them have grew. Well, nothing's grown very well, should I say. It is still too cold, it's strange. Things are happening very slowly. So like I say anyway, I'm going to have a cuppa and I'll tell you all about it in the shed. Right, cuppa time. It's the first thing you should do. Yeah, so before I start, I'd just like to say thank you to all the new subscribers I've made. Since the last video, I've made over 100. So welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy what you see and all that. A lot of you have been here for a while. I have been making videos for nearly 14 years now, and that's quite a long time. So the other night I was thinking I should start making playlists so people can look back, because there's not many hints and tips I can show you at the minute because the weather's been terrible. But if you look back in my videos over the years, I've made quite a few hints and tips videos, and you can also look back on the difference of the weather. This has been the worst year ever since I've been on the plot for like late starts. I can hear myself echoing. I don't know if you can hear me echo. Hello. Anyway, like I say, I've made some playlists. If you want to have a look at them, that's cool. I've got over 800 videos. I never delete any of them. I usually make a video every Sunday, and I have done for the past 14 years. So there's plenty for you to look through. And thank you for subscribing. It really does mean a lot. Like I say, I want to try and prove somebody wrong here. So keep on subscribing. Thank you very much. I'm going to finish my cuppa and crack on. I'm also going to go through some seeds. I've got a box of seeds up there. See if any of them grow, because nothing else has. See what happens. So I'm going to crack on anyway, get some digging done. See you in a bit. Well, like I say, I'm going to try and sort this area out here. Make it look a little bit more presentable, if nothing else. This side's just about done. I've covered the grass clods with a bit of plastic there, so they should rot down canny. I'm also going to leave all of the dandelions in, because the bees need dandelions at this time of year. Even though it's nearly May, there's not many flowers about, so anything you can do to help the bees. Don't dig them up until they start seeding. When they get the clocks on, get them up. Anyway, like I say, I'm going to try and make a start on this. I got a few suggestions on a video a couple of weeks ago about this area, and they were saying about no dig. Now, no dig is quite expensive, and my soil, this garden has been dug for over 100 years, so the soil's great. And the thing is, with no dig, which people don't really understand, they keep doing it wrong. You can't just put cardboard on top of that and then put a load of compost on top of it and expect all that grass and stuff to die down, because it won't. You have to get the ground like that first, then you put the cardboard down, then you can start putting compost down. But like I say, that's an expensive way of doing things. to cover this whole plot in compost you need to carry a few bags. I haven't got enough of my own that I make to even make a dent. So no dig, no way. Not me. I don't know what I'm going to do with this bit, but like I say, I'm going to crack on anyway. I'm yammering. Catches in a bit. Well, I've made a start. The ground's still a little bit damp, but it's okay for digging, I suppose. Got the robin up there singing away. Hopefully he'll come down, get some wireworms and stuff for his breakfast and all that. But anyway, while I was digging here, I've had a plan. I've just been like forking through this pile here, and to be honest, it's mainly just brambles and stuff like that. So I'm going to have a fire. Have a fire right in the middle of there, burn everything, get it sorted. That's one way of getting rid of stuff. So I'll get on with that. Like I say, there's this robin. It's up at the top of the tree there, singing away. Go on. Sing away, robin. I saw you might come down and get some worms. But I'm going to get this fire on now. So I'll crack on. Well, that's the fire started, but I'm not sure if I'll do any more because the smoke's blowing all over. Sometimes it's blowing towards the garage, and I know that they'll complain for smoke. So I'm just going to let that die down. Hopefully the wind will change direction and the fire brigade won't turn up. Fingers crossed. Anyway, whew, smoky, crack on. Well, the fire's dying down now, no complaints. I've just been digging this bit over here next to the apple trees, and this part is just all like roots of the apple trees and the pear tree and that, so it's a bit harder than what I expected, and that's not even including the grass clods and all that. Like I say earlier, if you're going to do no dig, your soil really needs to be, like the land needs to be clear before you even start. Nobody says gardening was easy, especially these days, climate change and all that, but I'll talk about that later. So anyway, I was thinking, I've got all of this land dug over and I haven't even got any seeds sown yet, but nothing's grown, so I better go into the greenhouse and get some seeds sown. I'll catch you down there. Well, it's nice and warm in this greenhouse today. Anyway, as you can see, beetroot has come up, no problem. The broad beans are romping away. The kale that I sowed 2 weeks ago now hasn't appeared at all. The swede is once again getting far too leggy inside there, and if you can see there, there's only 4 cabbage popped up, and that's no good. Germination's been really poor this year, so I've sorted out some seeds anyway. I'm gonna go over here next to the table and I'm gonna sieve some compost, because that's most important as well. So I'll crack on over there. So this is the compost that I'm using, evergreen, and as you can see, it's good stuff, not bad. So I'm going to sieve some of it, get some seed mix on the go, and we'll go from there. Right, that's not the best of angles, folks, but you get the idea. I was watching a video the other day, M.I. Gardener, I think he's called, and he was on about different composts and how much they cost and all that, and there was about 9 different sorts of compost that he made from the one bag, you know what I mean? If he was using Miracle Grow for an example, there was cactus mix, orchid mix and all that, and it all come from the same place. And for starting off seedlings, you do need a fine grade soil. It makes us laugh when people, when they go on the right on the bag of compost, you know, John Innes mix with added John Innes. Sorry. Now, how can you add somebody to a compost? John Innes made 3 different sorts of his own mix of compost, and it was like grade 1 for seed starting. John Innes number 2 was a little bit more grainy, and then John Innes number 3, that's for like final potting on sort of thing, which has got more gravel and sand and stuff in it, not just compost. So anyway, like I say, I'm just sieving some of this compost here, get rid of all the big bits. So these bits here can be added to, say, John Innes number 2, and that'll give a bit more drainage type of thing. But for this actual seed sowing, you want no stones in or anything like that. That's perfect. Just what you want. I don't even know if you can see is there. But that's perfect. No stones in, nothing like that. Nothing that's going to stop the seed from actually growing properly. So I'll crack on with that, and then I'll head back into the greenhouse. Well, do you know what? It's such a nice day that I'm going to sow some seeds outside for the first time this year. Like I was saying before, none of me brassicas have germinated. The seeds are in date, so I don't know what's the matter. So I'm going to try some more anyway. I found these ones. Greyhound. So by December 2028. So these should be alright. Like I say, there doesn't seem to be anything, that they're not out of date or anything like that, so that it just seems to be the weather that's creating the lack of germination. So let's crack on, get some more seeds sown. Like I say, I've got all this land and there's nothing really much growing, so better get something. Hopefully these will grow. Like I say, these are the greyhound cabbage. Now I was at B&M's yesterday, and I looked at them seeds, and even them, there was like, what was it, packet of beetroot, £2.50. Used to get them for 50p. What's going on? Things like courgettes and cucumbers and stuff like that are like £4. I'm not paying that. So we're just going to have to make do with what we've got. But the thing is, things are only going to get worse, folks, because of climate change. And that's what they're saying. Now, do you know what I think, right? They do this cloud seeding, and we know they do now, because look at Dubai. They've said they were cloud seeding, and look what's happened in Dubai. Floods. What's going on? Now, my theory is they've been doing this cloud seeding, right? And they've messed up the formula or whatever. Whatever they've done, the clouds are staying in the sky and they're just travelling around the world, and that's why it's been raining nearly every day, because of this. Well, that's my theory anyway. But the thing is, the price of seeds and stuff is just going to rocket. Next year, you watch, we'll have a shortage of crops. So I was passing a farmer's field the other day and it was just waterlogged. So how's things going to grow if everywhere is soaking wet? They'll probably have a cheek to say that there's going to be a hose pipe ban in the summer this year as well. But things are just going to get worse. Compost's expensive. I know it make your own, that's what I'm going to try and start doing. But like I say, the price of seeds is rocketed. Everything's sky high now. And you watch, there'll be a shortage next year. As I was saying on one of my other videos, I was talking to a bloke who runs an allotment shop, and he says since 2020 it's been getting harder and harder to get like seed potatoes and stuff like that, and this year was the worst ever. Nothing but happy talk on this channel, folks, eh? But something needs to change. What was that greyhound? I've actually marked off the things this time. So that's the greyhounds in there. Put 3 rows in. That should do. I've got some blue curled Scotch kale as well. Hopefully something will grow. Otherwise, what's the point? But anyway, that's my theory. They've been cloud seeding, they've messed up, they didn't know what they were doing, and that's why it's rained all the time. I mean, however, floods in Dubai. It's not supposed to rain in the desert. So, anyway, you've probably switched off by now. But I'll crack on anyway. Get the rest of these seeds sown and I'll get on with something else. So I'll see you in a bit. I've just been pottering around in the greenhouse here. I've tried an experiment. These leggy swede here, I've buried them deep. See if they'll come back and see if I can use them. If not, I'll just sow some more. But there's the cabbage and the kale, and I put another row. I've put some greyhound cabbage in, some kale, a Brunswick cabbage, and some Godzilla broccoli. So hopefully they'll start growing. What else I'm going to do today is, because I can't wait, you know, I might as well try. I'm going to stick a row of these potatoes out. Gotta go sometime. So, and then another experiment. Get these taties out. Let's go. Right, so I'm going to put a row of potatoes down here. But first I'm going to prepare the land. First job I'll do is use me hand rotavator and get the ground level. Right, so that's that. Now I'll rake the land a little bit just to get it a little bit more level, and then I'll use Ray's potato planting tool to make the holes. Now the holes are made, I'm going to put some fish blood and bone into the bottom and then put the potato back. Sorted. And that's the first row of potatoes in. What I'll do now is get some of the cow manure there, layer it across the top, so if there is any frosts or anything like that, it should be well protected. There should be anyway. It's a spade's depth in the ground, and I don't think the frost at this time of year
it'll get that deep. Anyway, I'll get this cow manure on. Well, that's the first row of potatoes in. It's up to Mother Nature now. I'm going to have a cuppa. See you in a bit. Right, just while that kettle boils, and I think it's going to rain, I'm going to use the rest of this sieved compost up. I'm going to put some lettuce in. See what happens. Like I say, you've got to start sometime. The season's like not long enough, and we're into nearly into May now. Things need time to grow, stuff like cabbages and all that. So hopefully these lettuce here, got some webs, wonderful. I'm just going to sow a few in here, see if they come up. These are brand new seeds anyway. Well, not brand new, but I bought them when Wilkinson's was shutting down. These are viable till the end of 2026, so they should be alright. Like I say, all my seeds are fine in the date, it's just the germination. And it's not the compost, because other things are growing fine. It's climate change. I can hear you say, oh no, don't keep on going on about climate change, Dave. But it seems to be the truth. Cloud seeding, we're all going to get affected by it. They've messed up. I mean, they didn't. I'm sure they didn't expect to get this much rain. And I know some people will say, well, it's still winter at the end of the day, really. Spring hasn't properly sprung, but it should have done. I'm sowing these far too randomly, like. Be quite hard to prick out, but that's if they even grow. But as I was saying, like I say, it's, people might say, well, it's still too cold, never cast a clout till May's out and all that. But if you look back at my videos, like I was saying earlier, I've made playlists. You can look back over the years, and this is the worst year that we've had for weather. And I'm not making that up. Have a look for yourselves. Right, so that's a tray of webs, wonderful. I'll get that in the greenhouse. I'm going to get my cuppa. See you in a bit. Well, it's 5:30 now. It's starting to rain. As I predicted, it rains every day. So I'll just quickly show you around the garden where it's still sunny. There's Hebe's starting to grow now again. Put some flower stems on and stuff. Not be long before that's blooming. The bluebells are coming up nicely there. And the water irises are coming up in the pond. There's some more bluebells starting to open up there. Nice. Like I say, this is the wildlife area. Most of these plants were in when I first got the garden, so I just left it as it was. There is some frog spawn still in the pond, so that'll be good to see some frogs kicking about soon. This pond doesn't seem to get anything in it, really. It's just there. But anyway, what's been happening? I've showed you the potatoes going out, as you see, as you've seen. I put a row of potatoes here and cover it with cow manure, give them the best start in life. I'll get the rest of them in here. But like I say, I've got all this land, not much to grow, but there will be like climbing beans and runner beans and stuff going in later on. Still too cold for that, but there's plenty of time. But there isn't. Time is passing by too quickly, folks. So I showed you that before. I've made a start digging. This fire's been smouldering away all day. Well, it's getting there, like. Hopefully I'll be able to get this bit dug over, get something in the ground. This is the first year, like I keep saying, it's the first year where nothing's really been done due to the weather. I've got some broad beans to go out, but I remember last year the rats ate all of the well, most of them. So I'm going to have to make a little cage for them as well, I think. This artichoke is getting massive now, as it always does. And plenty of apple blossom on there. I'm just going to leave the two sides open so the bees can do the thing. You can see that there's two different types of apples on there. Like that one's got like a pink tinge to it, and this one is white. There's these tulips doing nice. Very nice. It's a pity someone who planted them isn't going to see them. But anyway, as I was digging over there the other day, there was a lemon balm, so I've transplanted it into there. And there was a hollyhock or a foxglove growing as well, so I've stuck it in there. These sweet peas seem to be alright. Don't seem to mind a little bit cold, these. Get it, stay there. And I've put some mesh up there just so the everlasting sweet pea can grow up there. That's the plan anyway. It was nice to do some seed sowing outside for a change. These are the leggy, they're far too leggy, them. They're still, seeds are searching for the light, folks. It's still a little bit dark at nights and all that, but we'll get there. There's the lemon balm in this pot with the Virginia creeper. Hopefully it'll creep down, grow up there and creep down and look nice. These onions seem to be liking it out here, so I'll just leave them be. They don't need watering, plenty of water in the ground. These tulips are coming to an end now. It was nice to see them. Doing a little bit tidying up round Annie's little plot there as well. And look at that, look at that. Lovely. I've trimmed the bush. For now, I've trimmed my bush. I'll put these broad beans out here to acclimatise. They'll stay out here until they go out in the ground now, which will probably be next week. And then the greenhouse, there's nothing else much to show you. There's a few broad beans popping up, but just like I say, I showed you these before, the beetroot and that. And see what happens with these transplanted swede. I'm not expecting anything to happen. I will sow some more, get something in the ground anyway. And that's the lettuce in there, and the cabbage and kale and broccoli in there. So this honeysuckle's romping away. Right, anyway, I'm going to get this cuppa. I'll sign off in the shed. See you in a bit. Right, that's me done for today. I've been here 6 hours. Time flies when you're having fun, eh?
So, as always, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. It really does mean a lot. As I was saying earlier on, I've made videos for 14 years now, and a lot of you have been here since the very beginning. So thank you to those people. This start of the year for me has been the worst ever. My mind hasn't been into it, as you know, but these comments that I receive, the comments that I received in the past few months, they really do help. Like, it's nice to know that people actually do care and all that. And a few other comments over the years people have said, and especially like within the past few months, that me making these videos has helped other people, and that's amazing. If I have helped anybody get through the bad times, then thank you for watching. My channel was never intended to be anything. Like I always said, I've made videos to start with just to look back, like a video diary for myself. Then people started watching and all that, and things grew from there. And as I said last week, I'd really like to try and make something to this channel, and I've made 120 subscribers since the last video, so thank you very much. It really is appreciated, and making videos has helped us. Like, it keeps my mind occupied, stop us thinking about things. I mean, it's 6 months now, and you know, it's still hard, but I'm not going to dwell on the past. Like I said, I'm going to look forward to the future and hopefully get some crops on the go. So once again, folks, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing, and thank you for subscribing most of all. Here's to the next one, and here's to the next one, whatever. I've run out of things to say now, folks, so I'll just wrap it up now. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.